Hello! Is this how people really wave on all of these tarot videos? What's up? I don't have great nails, so fuck it. We're gonna talk about one of my favorite decks right now. One of my favorite oracle decks. Oh my goodness. It's Poesis, y'all. It's the Poesis Oracle. This is an independent deck I got on Etsy. Solid 2-part box. Poesis is a collection of 77 cards. I love that. That is designed to call us within when we have questions, trusting that we already have all the answers at the center of our being. The cards combine art and poetry to help cultivate one's own intuitive abilities when it comes to decision making, knowing that our intuition can be a dependable source of guidance. This has been created by Andrea Wan, poetry by Megan King, which you can access by going to the Poesis website's library. Each card, each 77 of these beautiful, each of these 77 beautiful cards. Oh gosh, I love that edge. Has a poem with it. So I wanted to go through the cards a little bit, give you a feel for it. It comes with a little booklet. Oh, and I forgot. It's also a little poster. This might be love, if I'm not mistaken. So it's about the cards, how to use it, and about the poetry, as well as 2 spreads that you can use. And I might actually use this Sun, Moon, Star one just for kicks and giggles tonight, because I want to show you this deck. So let's just go through a couple of the cards. I've been pulling this for so many readings with my clients and definitely personal readings. When I got this, I have been considering this deck for a couple of years, and I have no idea why I didn't pick it up before. I think it was because of the duochromatic black and cream, basically, colorway. But one thing I love about it is how versatile it is. Because there are just these simple, expansive keywords, which we'll see in a second, there are 77 amazing keywords about our life experience, emotional experience, our bodies. Oh my gosh, let's just look at some. It's so simple. Child. Embrace. Seek. Growth. Nurture. Change. Breathe. Practice. Play. Choice. I mean, see how simple all of these cards are? The images are so clear. And I love that this is a new, it's either going into a new moon, or into a waxing phase right after a new moon, which we're in right now. So that's kind of like a moment right now, needing to make a choice on what path to go down. And when you take that path, you're led on this journey, the journey that we think might actually be, oh, I'm just going to go around all these hills here. No, because the only way is through. So we have to go over that mountain. We have to go down into the valleys. We are called to go through the problem and through the issue and tackle things in all kinds of different ways. Clearly we're going, beneath into the underworld somehow. So we're going all over. There's stairs, there's slides. Yeah, anyway, it's a long journey, and it takes a process. See, we're actually getting further along in that process with the moon. Create. I love the cards that are mostly black. Oh, isn't that stunning? Gosh, I wish my camera were in better shape, y'all, but I'm doing this anyway. Harvest. Observe. Ugh, I'm usually creeped out by multiple eyeballs, but yes. And notice how this person is connecting with themselves here, observing this moment in all directions and dimensions. Chaos, what feels like inner chaos. We've wrapped ourselves up in knots out of a perceived, perhaps, outside problem, but truly it's ourselves. And our eyes are closed, not really realizing that we're just causing our own pain. Recharge. Yes. Ground on that crystal. Be with that full moon. Let's go. Recharge those crystals. Recharge yourself. Connect to earth. Connect to the ground. Heal. We can see, looks like sage, a smoke cleansing moment here, but also healing in what I see as people kind of coming through these portals and being able to breathe. This is so ancestral feeling to me, as the ancestors come through these portals created through this, indigenously based and originated medicine, like different indigenous cultures across the world use, like seining, am I saying that right? Smudging, etc. Rage. Compassion. Isn't that interesting how compassion points us in the direction we should go? That's such a different sort of view of compassion. It's navigating your life towards your heart, from your heart, towards your heart, and everywhere you're pointed is compassion. That's wonderful. I love that. Simplify. Yeah. Simplify it down into its core essence, the most essential shapes of it. Leap. What a fool card this is. Taking that wild leap, face first, total noodle body, absolutely just flying, bent, released, full release, full leap. That's wild. I love these illustrations. Disillusion. This card pops up a lot. And I feel like this is very Neptune at 29 degrees right now in Pisces. There's so many pieces of the real picture that we're going to see come together finally. But right now it all feels just illusion, dissolution. Like the full kind of the release of the self into the all as well. Work. What I've noticed about this work card is that it has this really active, creative center right here, like the sacral core, where our creative energy comes from. So I actually really like that this is creative work, and hopefully work that satisfies, work that we know and love down in our bones. Ooh, more bones. The body. Creepy little arms though, okay. Our energy centers. So the energy body as well as the physical body. Freedom. Oh, yearning for freedom. Aren't we all? Wound. I love this. Oh my gosh, look at this ghostly, there's a portal, a wound, a gaping wound where old ancestral karmic patterns are inside. And when we open it up and go in, we can release what comes up for us. So as we willingly approach these wounds as we allow them to exist and observe them with compassion, we can then watch what comes up and say, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you. You know, this pattern that I've created out of this wound is not necessary anymore. And by healing these wounds, we heal our ancestral lines. Joy. Blah, 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 blah. Joy. Guide. Yo, this is totally a spirit guide being like, this way, silly. I've been telling you. Home. And again, one thing I love about these cards is you can really interpret them in so many different ways, right? Home can be cozy. It can be your safe space. This person looks like they're kind of hugging themselves to be comfortable or comforted. But then look how small that space is. So when we, you know, stay at home, and we might be nurturing the growth at home, but there isn't that much room for growth at a certain point. You actually have to step outside, open a window, let the plants out, let yourself out so you can be bigger and like have even more growth and health. The unknown, what we all fear, stepping into that unknown. I really identify with this card. Like I'm the person standing here and looking into this unknown future that's simply unfolding one step, one day at a time. So the unknown continues to exist. It is just that my perspective of that changes as I come into the repeating now and the present moment. Test. Sometimes it feels like this is all a test. Oh, I love this. Soften. Can you soften your heart? Can you find the light inside of you that allows you to soften towards yourself and others? Look at this flower. I love that. So it's not softening out of weakness. It's softening out of openness and a desire to be receptive, appreciating the little moments of beauty in life. You don't have to be so goddamn hard all the time, y'all. Wisdom. Ooh, when this person does like human figures, they're always not. They're always off and different and unique. And so you can see these sort of praying hands and this face right here looking up to the sky. That's fascinating. And it looks like there's a lotus here, perhaps. Beautiful. Tears. Illuminate. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Light up your mind. Light up your consciousness and awareness. Woo, all is illuminated. Noise. So simple, so beautiful. Hey, listen. Noise. I was actually just holding this shell a second ago against my ear to listen to it. My mom used to have a really big one of those on her in her bedroom, and I love listening to shells. Like, cut out the damn noise, you gotta listen. That's a reminder from my guides. Abundance. Transform. Explore. Mind. Ooh, I love this. Another example of kind of evoking an emotion as well as a concept of something more deep than just the word mind. Showing someone, you know, holding their head, but it's just going deeper and deeper, on and on. The layered thoughts, the patterns of thoughts stacked on top of each other. Just, yeah. Like, are you living in the mind? What's stuck up there? Simplify the china. Oh, patience. This is that love card that I mentioned from the poster. Well, not the poster, the pamphlet. Look at that offering of love. And it's saying, here I am. Here is my love. Here I am. I am love. And it's a vulnerable thing to do. You feel like you're truly offering yourself to be judged, to be taken or not, to say, hey, will you accept this gift? Love that. Yes, connect the dots, connect the dots, astro. Yes, love it. I love connecting the dots in a system. Surrender. Oh, I love this. I just have to sigh when I see some of these cards. Earth. Look at these like almost ley lines, you know. Energetic lines. Looks very grid-like. The Matrix. Yeah. Escape the Matrix. Isn't this creepy? I love it. Fear. Just hiding behind our fears. Holding them close. Shadow. A lot of shadow work decks and books out right now. This deck is incredible for shadow work. It's so gentle about bringing those things up that we might need to look a little bit more deeply at. Look at ourselves, not with the sharp teeth of judgment, but with compassion. Trigger. Ooh, look at that. Trigger, shadow. I drew these together yesterday, I think, the day before, and so they're still like stuck together. That is something about the deck, is it is a rose petal finish, and so it is it clumps together. Okay. Like how many decks need this card? Just the dark silence. All right, so that is Poesis. I'm gonna do a reading based on the custom spread in the pamphlet, the insert. The Sun, Moon, Star reading. Use the spread to go beyond the surface of the issue. What is being illuminated? What needs to be released? How am I being guided to move forward? Well, I'm going to do this as a general pull. So we may have more collective energies come through. I'll show you how this shuffles. It's a little stiff. Yeah, it's a little stiff because it's thick. Good cardstock. It's very high quality. Like very high quality. So it's not the easiest to riffle shuffle, but I did it anyway. But since it's a little chunky, I mean, it can slide a bit, right? You can still have jumpers, but there's a lot of friction with this beautiful finish. Okay. Sun, Moon, Star. What is being illuminated right now? For the people who are watching this video, what might be illuminated for them right now? Thank you. The Moon. What needs to be released at this time? What needs to be released? The Star. How am I being guided to move forward? How am I being guided to move forward? How are we being guided collectively to move forward through the context of this reading? Oh, okay, we're going to do that one. All right. What is being illuminated? Simplify. What needs to be released? Compassion. How am I being guided to move forward? Heal. So what's being illuminated is our need to get things down to the core of the issue, to really simplify our thinking about things. Things aren't actually as complicated as we might think they are, or as we've been told they are. Things actually might be a bit more simple than that. And when we're looking at problems and difficulties in our lives, we can see that what's being illuminated, like if you imagine a light, like what's above me, a light shining down on this card, we actually see some shadows, right? So there's dark space. So if we simplify to just the form of the thing and light, if we just simplify down to light, then we see what shape things really take, correct? So things might cast a shadow, or absorb the light altogether. Or in this case, these shadows, these shapes could indicate, hey, when I just simplify my life down to where's the light shining and what is it shining on, those are revealed, the actual essence of the thing, the reality of the situation, and also kind of you can see the, let's say, hidden aspects that might have been blended before, but now that there's light shown on them, you can see the dark. You can see the shadow that's cast from it. So I feel like there's, right now, and what's happening collectively, cross-culturally, but certainly in like where I live in the United States, we are seeing things more as they are. We have to simplify our view and say, beyond all the smoke and mirrors, beyond the noise, right? What's really going on here? And then what needs to be released? What I love about this idea of releasing compassion, we don't let go of compassion as in releasing it as if we're not supposed to have it. It's that we're not supposed to just keep it for ourselves. We need to release compassion by following the direction it leads us in. We release it by giving and sharing it with others. We release compassion into the world, to all directions. Because we know that by releasing our compassion, letting it live, letting it thrive, letting it go out in front of us, guiding our life by saying, I want to put some compassion out into the world today. How do I do it? We can focus on things that we now know what the core issues are. So we can have compassion for people that maybe haven't seen the shadow before. We can have compassion for ourselves when we've been caught up in the shadow. We can have compassion for the human experience and say, hey, we are all muddling it up together, folks. We're all in this together, and it's hard. It's a challenge, but I'm going to navigate my life with compassion, and I'm going to release it out into the world so that everybody can have some. Because really, all of these things that have seemed so overwhelming and perhaps above us or beyond help, beyond saving, when we simplify them down to their essence, we see how small and flimsy they are. We see that it's just a small little disc or a piece or a speck or a shape that's in the way of the light, and we can brush them off and we can clear the table for something new if we lead with compassion, if we release this engine that we bring, this engine of compassion into the world. Okay, The star, how am I being guided to move forward? We are being guided to move forward with collective healing. This card came up in the, the walkthrough of the deck, and I was thinking ancestral healing, right? Multicultural ancestral healing, and the idea that we need to heal our spaces, heal our minds, heal our ancestry lines, our lineage. We need to heal ourselves, though, first. By doing that, by healing ourselves and going deeper into the different facets of who we are, we strip off the masks. We heal the illusion of who we thought we were. We heal that and we accept the cleansing socially. So when we heal as a group, what compassion is going to do is lead us to this healing. So how are you being guided to move forward? How are you healing this? How are you healing these structures, or your experience of, these structures that are in the way, that need to be off the table? When you simplify things down to their essentials and you lead with compassion, you heal generations and generations of karmic cycles, of treating these mountains, these molehills, these sticks, these circles, the shapes, by treating those as actual boundaries, as things that are too big, too vast to be even understood. Now that we see them in their essentials, they're just so easy to get rid of, instead of the myth of them, which is so incredibly hard to get rid of. That's why we need to simplify things down to their essence. So we need to talk about our traumas that way. We need to rethink our stories, and have self-compassion with ourselves, and point that compass inward and point to what is in our lives that's blocking us from moving forward, right? So we heal ancestral and our lineage. Even past lives are affected here. We're healing this karmic journey that we have been on, this roller coaster of the Akash, that we are playing these same plot lines and stories to learn over and over again. And we keep coming up against these barriers that we've never really known what they are. We've never really understood these systems, but these are not the most obvious 3D systems we're talking about. But these are also internal, unconscious systems that we operate under, right? We had to shine a light here to see the shadow. So this is unconscious, it's beneath the surface. And so we need to navigate with our self-compassion as well, to heal our inner wounding, to heal the parts of us that feel like we're just repeating the same stories over and over. We're coming up against the same blockers over and over, but we simplify it down. We see the truth of the thing with light. Your light shining into you and into what you're approaching, what you're worried about, what you're afraid of, what seems insurmountable to you can be healed. It's a time of healing right now. That is how we're being guided to move forward. Are you on the healing journey? And what are you healing? And even if you don't know what you're healing, even if you don't understand what cycle you're really in consciously, because this stuff has been unconscious, it's the time to shine the light down there. It's a time to shine the light in and say, what is being illuminated and what is the truth of the thing? What's the reality behind the myth or the belief that's kept you stuck, that's kept you feeling powerless, that's kept you feeling afraid? But point the loving compassion of your heart there. Point compassion inside of yourself first. And then it will be able to be given even more easily outside to others. Ooh, how about that? How about that? Thank you, Poesis. Oh my goodness. Ooh, all right. Much love. I highly recommend this little indie oracle. Again, I bought it on Etsy. So make sure that you're buying from the actual creator, eh? Eh? Support small business, support poetry, support Poesis, yeah? Have a wonderful night, everybody. Wonderful day. Have a wonderful have a wonderful day. Good night, everybody. Much care. Much love.